Welcome back to the Rustbelt Rundown. It is Monday, November 10th. We are here. Our teams may not be, but we're here. Thankfully, tonight's going to be a rough one. We got a lot of beating up to do, I feel like, Pauly, but, you know, I think I could say this. I think Week 10 is going to be the airing of grievances.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now,
it's true.
You're going to hear about it.
It's true. That's it. Listen, this is going to be one of those nights. If you're expecting a fluff night, if you're expecting us to be positive, go watch Monday Night Football because that game's already boring. Get out of here. Tonight,
already?
it's about. I think so. I'm excited because I think Packers-Eagles should be good, but I also think that it's going to be a blowout for Philly, but that's just me speaking.
Okay, I thought the Packers were favored, so that's interesting.
They are, well, it's got, Philly minus 1.5. Philly minus 1.5.
Okay.
So,
it's a toss-up. 1.5?
Yeah.
That says Vegas has no idea.
I don't know. The Packers just seem like they're in shambles right now. Well, speaking, just like the Rust Belt, let's be honest. The Rust Belt is rough.
Theme.
We're gonna air some grievances tonight. Before we do, Pauly, how are you, man?
Listen, man, I'm sorry I'm not in shambles today. This is probably the best day of fandom I've had in 4 years, or at least since that Broncos game in Week 3 where the Dolphins put up 70. This has been a terrible football season for me. None of my teams are any good, but beating the Bills and having bragging rights for like 9 months is cool. So I plan to take advantage of that. When I texted you this afternoon, I was like, listen, we can beat up the Steelers, but we don't need to beat up the Bills too bad because Miami spent all Sunday afternoon doing that.
Oh, listen, we're not the only ones airing grievances. Get in the conversation over on YouTube because, Pauly, we're already getting our listeners errands of grievances. I hate bald people that talk about football and wear hoodies. Me too, but
Delgado. Okay, I'm sorry, bud.
Listen,
I'm sorry. Usually I don't wear my Dolphins fan gear on here. Usually I have my Gem City quarter zip over here, and I usually wear that. I'm usually pretty good, but tonight I had to wear it, man. I'm
all for it. I'm all for it. If you're tuned in, listening, wherever you are, let's all air our grievances tonight because I'm going to keep being bald and keep wearing hoodies, so get over it. All right. Let's jump into the news. We don't have a whole lot of news we're going to cover tonight, but we do want to talk about a big one up in New York. Giants fire head coach Brian Daboll after a 2-8 start, his 4th season in New York. I think really what happened with Daboll, and he had such promise coming from Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I think just it's been the last 4 games they've had a lead and have collapsed in the 4th quarter. So unfortunately, I think it just was enough is enough. I don't know if that bodes better or worse for, Jackson Dart and the future of that offense. I don't know. What do you think about this one, Pauly?
I know that's a strange one. We've had 2 coach firings so far this year, and both of them have played rookie quarterbacks. I'm talking about the Titans with Cam Ward and now the Giants with Jackson Dart. You have a coach, they select a quarterback that they want to tie themselves to, and then you get rid of them before the season's out. It's tough. NFL, not for long. That's kind of been the case. I don't think it's just the last 4 games for Daboll. It's been a rough couple of years. Also, I think he got hired because everybody thought he fixed Josh Allen. Remember before Daboll got to Buffalo, Allen was not great.
Right.
And then Daboll kind of flipped him around. He got, they were calling him a genius, the quarterback whisperer. He gets a head coach job. And then he doesn't fix Daniel Jones, and we kind of see how Daniel Jones is now, and he's got Jackson Dart playing okay, but the team management is rough. New York is a tough football market. Aaron Glenn might be on the way out in the New York Jets. Robert Saleh, great coach.
That would be crazy.
It took him a couple of years, and they knocked him out of there too. New York is just a tough place to coach, man.
Well, you know what? So you brought up Aaron Glenn, and we were talking about this a little during the pre-show meeting. And who you asked me this question, and I don't know that I have an answer. I think I do. But who do you think is going to be that next head coaching domino to fall? I mean, you've had Greer go out as GM in Miami. You have Daboll now going out. You've seen Callahan leave Tennessee. Who's that next head coach that maybe maybe fallen off the fence, not just sitting on
Well,
it.
I think as we said in the pregame a couple of weeks ago, we had the Browns-Dolphins game, and it was kind of like the coach that loses the game will more likely be fired. And the Browns won that game. They won pretty handily. They beat the crap out of Miami. And here we are 2-3 weeks later, and the Dolphins are coming off a big win against a division opponent with a good record, and the Browns are coming off a bad loss.
To the
Not
Jets.
a bad loss. 27-20 to the Jets, who I think are currently projected at number 2, the second overall pick in the second or third. I think they're tied with the Saints. So not great, Bob. But if I had to guess, and it's not because I dislike him.
Not
because I've
great,
said for
Bob.
years, I like Kevin Stefanski as a coach. He didn't win Coach of the Year 2 times by accident. You can win it once by accident. I don't think you get it twice by accident. But if I had to guess, I think it would be Stefanski. One of the reasons we talked about pre-show was, remember, he kind of pulled the same move last year. He was calling plays, and then that wasn't working, so they bring in Ken Dorsey, who was fired from Buffalo. Okay, Dorsey can call plays. The offense didn't get better, and Dorsey was the scapegoat. Fast forward a year, they bring in a hotshot offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, who came from Notre Dame, coming off a national championship run. Stefanski calls the plays. The offense isn't great. I'll hand the reins off to this young hotshot coordinator, and through one game, the results were not ecstatic. I'm willing to give Tommy Rees some more rope, some more chain, but the rumors are he may bolt for a big-time college football head coaching job. I don't know how tied he is to the Cleveland area, but this may be a case of, you go to the well too often, the well runs dry, and that's kind of how it feels for Stefanski. We've tried this move before. It didn't work. It worked last time. He got the other guy canned. This time it might be his head.
Well, and
that said, as soon as he's fired, I think he gets a job fairly quickly.
No, I don't. I think so too. I mean, I could absolutely see him go down to a Cam Ward, in Tennessee. I think would be a fit for Stefanski.
I think he gets an offensive coordinator job. And
okay. You don't think he'll bounce to another head coaching job?
I don't think so. Typically, some guy like him, he's going to have to go take a slide backwards, turn it offense around, have a good year, and go, oh yeah, that's why he got,
I think
hired
some
the first
people,
time, and the Browns are just the Browns.
I think some people will look at that 2-time Offensive Coach of the Year award and overhype it, I think. But let's save this Browns talk, because we're absolutely going to talk Browns. I actually think the offense played better than they had in maybe all year with Reese calling the plays, and let's put a pin in that conversation.
They look different.
Yeah, and I mean it wasn't just runs and passes to the tight ends. They looked to be spreading the ball. Jerry Jeudy finally plays for this team. But again, we'll get into
12
that.
targets yesterday.
We'll get into that later in the show. But first, let's go ahead and let's go to Buffalo first today.
Let's go, Buffalo.
All right, so Buffalo, the Bills were stunned 30-13 by the Miami Dolphins on Sunday at Hard Rock Stadium, snapping Miami's 7-game losing streak in the rivalry. Running back De'Von Achane erupted for 225 scrimmage yards and 2 long fourth-quarter touchdown runs of 59 and 35, powering the Dolphins 3-7 to just their 3rd win of the season. Tua Tagovailoa threw for 173 and 2 touchdowns, while Miami's defense forced 3 turnovers, limited Buffalo's high-powered offense to just 87 rushing yards. We were just chasing the game, head coach Sean McDermott told BuffaloBills.com, lamenting his team's inability to recover after falling behind 16-0 at the half. Josh Allen did finish with 306 passing yards, 2 scores, and 2 turnovers in the loss, but unfortunately the Bills dropped to 6-3. Gosh, where to start with this one? Because I appreciate Allen coming out and saying, I've got to be better. They wanted it more than us. Like, he's saying all the right coach things, but he played well. In a game like this, do you put the blame on the offense in terms of underperforming, only having 87 rushing yards between Cook and Allen, who have been running wild all year? Or is this maybe the defense that kind of led up to what's been, let's just say it, a subpar Miami offense?
I think one hand fed the other. The Buffalo defensive front 7 was not good. Miami ran the ball better than they'd run the ball all season long yesterday. So they got out ahead, and Buffalo actually ran the ball fine. They weren't great in the first half, but they weren't poor. But when you play from behind, that kind of takes away your ability to stick with the run game. Yeah. That and Buffalo had 3 bad turnovers. James Cook fumbled, got it punched out just as he was like reaching ahead for a first down. Miami recovers. Josh Allen converts on 4th and a foot. They run the little tush push. He breaks out of the pile. He picks up 15 more yards, and you go, oh, boy, here it comes.
Yeah.
And he fumbles on the back end of that play. Miami gives up the ball at the 2-yard – or no, they punt the ball. Buffalo takes over at their 2-yard line. They drive down the field, and Josh Allen throws a bad interception on 3rd and goal from the 5. So Buffalo did not play poorly. Miami took advantage of a couple bad turnovers, and the run game, which had been helping Josh Allen all season long, they just really never got it going to the point, because once you fumble, James Cook played fine. Actually, he played well. But once he fumbled, coaches have a tendency to take the ball out of his hands, and they didn't put Ray Davis in or try to run the ball more with Allen. They just kind of, we're going to go 5 wide and kind of go motion and just kind of pitch it around a little bit. Allen was not good in the first half, but he put the team on his shoulders in the second half, walking down the field. It was that bad interception in the early to mid-third quarter range that kind of like, man, they couldn't get anything going. And I think you mentioned it before the show, Buffalo was a team that could absolutely use another receiver. Keon Coleman was terrible. Khalil Shakir got hurt. Dalton Kincaid, who was tearing up the defense, got hurt in that second or third quarter area. He did not come back. They're kind of run out of bodies, and yeah, I mean, Miami played their best game.
Yeah, no, Miami showed up when they absolutely needed to. Allen is Allen. I'm not putting the blame on Allen here at all. I think it was just, you hate to say the word trap game, but because I don't want to.
Had 10 days off. They played a Thursday night game, so they had a long wait. They'd fired the general manager, so there's a lot of like, everybody's buttholes pucker in the locker room. We got to really come out and play hard this week. I think it was a set of circumstances really that favored the Dolphins there, but like the Bills were a much better team. Just trap game. But that's what I don't think it was, and that's where I'm going with it. I don't think it was a trap game, because this has kind of been my problem with Buffalo all year. I know I've kind of been, beating them up here a little bit, but I think this level of inconsistency in their team, specifically their defense, and I know they've been injured. They're injured every year, and they keep overcoming. I get all of that. I'm not saying that they're a bad team, but it's this level of inconsistency that's absolutely going to keep them out of the Super Bowl as that window closes more and more. But now you're talking about the Patriots. The Patriots have 2 games on Buffalo right now, right? And they've already been through their bye. So it's like... And they got a good win this week against Tampa Bay. They beat up a lot of bad teams and got a lot of close wins against bad teams. They beat a pretty good Tampa Bay team this week.
Absolutely. So they show that they're legit. I'm sorry, Buffalo's been through their bye. New England hasn't. So it's about a 2-game lead on them right now. But okay, great. You beat the Chiefs last week. Okay, but you got to be consistent in that. That's great that you beat the Chiefs in the regular season. You've done that before. You do that every year. But it's this level of inconsistency from the offense and from the defense that is going to lead. That's why I do think they needed to go out and get a receiver. I think the defense needed to play better in this one. Tua wasn't great. He was only 15 of 21 for 173, had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So that the turnover game is what gave Miami this win, and then they just hung on to it. Achane looked great. 22 for 174. Awesome. My gosh, he's such a little guy, but get him in space and he's gone. So
he plays all over the place, in the backfield, outside of the backfield. They motion him in and out. He's such a weapon. And I'm glad that the Rustbelt area kind of got to see him bloom, because he's still on a rookie contract. The kid's a stud. Unfortunately, he's just on a really bad team.
So when you think about the Bills long term, right? I mean, does this level of inconsistency from the offense, from the defense, do you think this is something that could cost them the AFC East down the stretch?
Cost them the AFC East? Yeah, maybe, just because it's a numbers game, and right now the Patriots have the number. I'm just looking at it from a bigger picture perspective. It almost doesn't matter the record, because if you think about it, what was it, 2 years ago? Buffalo was second place in the division to the Dolphins. They got hot at the right time. Dolphins cooled down at the right time, and Buffalo they're a team built for the playoffs.
Yeah.
If I'm just being honest, this Buffalo team does not feel better than last year's Buffalo team, and they were unable to get over the hump. I look at the Kansas City Chiefs the last couple of years, last season, the season before, they weren't an absolutely dominant, reel up 14, 15 straight wins and just go into the playoffs, just an absolutely dominant team.
Yeah.
They won a few, they lost a few, they win the close games, they look good, but they're able to turn it on when they need to. The Bills just don't feel like they have that can turn it on, because you got to beat the bad teams, not just division bad teams. And they look like crap.
Yeah.
The defensive front seven is not good. I think Maxwell Harrison got picked on yesterday. The safeties are not good. Jordan Poyer shouldn't be playing Canadian football, let alone professional American football. It's rough up there in Buffalo right now.
And the turnovers tell the story. Bill, like you said, Bills committed three total turnovers, 2 from Josh Allen and a James Cook fumble. They all led to Miami points. So the turnovers are the big swing here. But you can't ignore the fact that Buffalo went scoreless through its first 7 possessions. The first time since 2019 they failed.
Down in the first half.
First time since 2019 they failed to score in the first 3 quarters. That's per Alec White of BuffaloBills.com. McDermott commented on the slow start. He said, quote, "It's come out and control the game early, and we didn't do that today," end quote. He said that post-game, really just kind of showing their inability to establish that rhythm. Is it Allen? No, it's not Allen. I mean, he had a rough first half of the game. Sure, the fumble looked like a little bit of a fluke, but, maybe there's a Ken Dorsey. Well, I couldn't ignore that one. Maybe there's a Ken Dorsey problem. Thank you. Maybe there's a Ken Dorsey problem here in Buffalo. I don't know. They looked out of sync, and Miami is 3-7. They're loving every bit of this to be able to spoil. Did you see the video of Mike McDaniel driving around the Bills bar in Miami?
I did. Did you hear his response in the press conference today when he was asked about it?
No.
It was the very first question they asked, and his answer was, "Do I live in that area? Yes." Is AI video crazy nowadays? Also, yes. And they're like, "Are you denying it?" And he goes, "You heard my answer. I live in the area, and AI video is crazy right now." So he very purposely did not confirm nor deny, but Tyreek Hill posted, he goes, "Coach, back on that petty dog stuff." So
that's hilarious.
That's Mike, man.
I see it. Quote, "I live in that area. AI is real. That's what I got for you." That sounds like
that's what
Mike
I got
McDaniel.
For you. Next question.
Mike McDaniel, just, couldn't care less. Couldn't care less.
No.
All right. Buffalo, we'll see. They got a big game next week. On Sunday.
This should serve as a wake-up call. It's either going to be, this is the beginning of the end because the Dolphins put on film, hey, this is how you beat Buffalo, or this puts a chip on the Bills' shoulder and they go, we just got beat by a bad team. We can't let this happen. And everybody kind of relocks in and they come out firing. And
they got a rough 2-3 game skid here. You got home against Tampa Bay, at Houston. Houston's defense looks incredible right now. D'Amico Ryans has them rolling.
Defense, yep.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh, it depends on what Pittsburgh defense decides to show up. So we'll see what the next 3 games look like. But, yeah, up next, home against Tampa Bay, 1 o'clock. They're going to need, I think, a big turnaround here against Baker and the Bucs.
2 teams coming off losses.
Switching over to Pittsburgh, we talked about the Steelers and Bills matchup in 3 weeks. We'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, they couldn't get out of L.A. with a win. The L.A. Chargers handed the Pittsburgh Steelers a humbling 25-10 loss on Sunday Night Football at SoFi Stadium. Aaron Rodgers endured his worst outing as a Steeler, completing just 16 of 31 passes for 161 yards, 2 interceptions, and a safety, while facing constant pressure from a relentless Chargers defense. The Steelers failed to score a touchdown until late in the fourth quarter when Rodgers connected with rookie Roman Wilson for a 27-yard score. Man, I wish he could score in any other quarter because they could really use a receiver. Meanwhile, Justin Herbert led the Chargers with 220 yards and a touchdown, extending LA's winning streak to 3 games. Mike Tomlin summed it up bluntly post-game, quote, "We stunk it up tonight. We'll be back," end quote. Paul, Rodgers posted a passer rating of 50.6, his lowest this season, and Pittsburgh went 0 for 9 on third downs before a late conversion. Was this simply a bad night for Rodgers, or is this a sign of decline or decline of Arthur Smith? I mean, what happened here with this Steelers offense?
I can't put it all on Rodgers. I thought he was under quite a bit of pressure from a Chargers team that's kind of injury plagued, so they weren't like fully stocked. I did not like the play calling at all. Where is Kenneth Gainwell? He didn't get a single carry last night. Caleb Johnson got 2 carries. Jalen Warren toted the rock pretty well. He averaged 5 yards a carry.
He was the only bright spot in the whole offense, I think.
I know, but where is the consistency? You have literally 4 good tight ends, and it feels like none of them get a chance to get rolling. Didn't you just pay Jonnu Smith $12 million? Did he even get targeted?
Twice.
Jonnu Smith, 2 targets, 1 catch for 4 yards. The dude is a weapon.
He's supposed to be your joker in that offense.
He's not an inline tight end, but he's an athletic guy who really has a good understanding of over the middle of the field. I mean, look at the Dolphins tight end room with Jonnu Smith versus without him. I mean, the kid can play. He's woefully misunderused. Darnell Washington is a nice target. I kind of feels like he's in it for a drive and then kind of like, okay, we're going to go away from him.
You teach me to football?
Yeah. Frymuth, I always feels like is a safe kind of like a safety valve, what do you call it? A security blanket type player, and he's another one that it kind of flop drives with Washington. So not a whole lot of consistency. Their only receiver is DK. They had trouble getting them the ball last night. Targeted 7 times, only 3 catches, 35 yards on the night, and then they get up 3 points, but the missed touchdown early in that game. Was it the second drive? A little bit of an overthrow and you get DK open. I think if they convert that, it's a different game. But that almost felt like it took the wind out of the sails. And, man, I just did not like the play calling. I didn't like the flow. I didn't like the consistency. And then Aaron Rodgers has, he lets you know. His face tells no lies. When he's upset, you can see it on his face. And, he's the same age as Arthur Smith. So there is no respect for the old guy. The team can choose to follow Arthur Smith or they can choose to follow Aaron, and it kind of feels like there's a little bit of a divide there, even if it's not spoken. It almost feels that way.
I mean, you never know.
If the defense doesn't hold it down, it was a rough night for the offense and that offensive line.
And that's been Rodgers over the last couple of years. I mean, he's not going to be as consistent as he used to, and you've seen that in New York. So you expect a game like this. I think he was trying to force the ball a little bit in this game because they got behind early and they just had a hard time trying to keep back up. Outside of Boswell's field goal in the early 3 quarters of the game, there wasn't much offense going. I agree with you. The deep shot to DK, I think, would have changed the narrative of this game, or at least the offensive side of the ball. But I think the tight end usage is mind-boggling to me. I'm so glad you said that because I think you could use Freiermuth as your wide receiver too. You have Jonnu. You're using that bunch set, and when you get Freiermuth out there, you look at the last couple games, they had him out there. He had 3, 4, 5 catches. He had a touchdown or 2. That offense was rolling. But in this one, you only target him twice. No, I'm sorry. Freiermuth you target 3 times, 3 for 33. Jonnu 1 for 4, like you said. What are you doing? You don't have a wide receiver to make that up, right? So that kind of leads me up to my question here is, with the Steelers failing to add a wide receiver at the trade deadline, did the front office make a mistake trusting this offense as is?
I don't think that's a front office mistake. I think yesterday especially was an offensive coordination mistake because as I remember getting yelled at by Mike Yursich on a bus back from Indiana, from Carlisle, PA, years ago, football is about matchups, and you got to find the matchups and exploit the matchups. Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth are 2 completely different styles of players, even though they play the same position. Freiermuth is your body type physical freak. He's your 50-50 ball guy. He's long. He's tall. He makes a lot of contested catches. Jonnu is much more of an athlete for a guy his size. So you try to line him up against the safety. The safety's too small to play with a guy his big. The linebacker's probably a little bit. He's big enough, but he's not quite as shifty as fast as Jonnu. So there's matchups there, and it doesn't seem that Arthur Smith is consistently putting these guys in good position to take advantage of their matchup, and it's tough to see. And I think last night is a result of what you get when you don't win many matchups.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, Pittsburgh drops to 5-4, losing 3 of its last 4, and remains winless 0-3 in primetime games this season. It was weird having 3 primetime games back to back to back, but
Pittsburgh's a popular team, man. They're always going to be put in primetime. They sell tickets. They get eyes on the screen, so they're always going to play in primetime. You're going to have to win in primetime.
well, and they travel too. I mean, you saw terrible towels all over the place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why they get primetime games. They're one of the most popular teams in the league.
The missed
So they sell.
The missed opportunity here, and where my biggest airing of grievances is one of 2 things. One, you needed to go get a receiver at the deadline. And I'm sure they tried, and the Steelers did the Steelers thing. They're not going to overpay. I heard they were in for Waddle. They're not, what I had heard was, or what I saw, I think it was from Andrew Filipponi from 93.7 The Fan, said that they were in on Waddle. Khan was kind of wavering, didn't know if he was ready to put that much capital. Like, is this team that ready? So if that's true, then your hand is out. You don't believe that this team is strong enough to win now, so you need to keep those draft picks to try and come back next year. Who knows what happens with Rodgers? So I think they're destined to be mid-level. The other piece that I think is huge in this game, in losing the last 3 games, is now you've let Baltimore come back, right? Baltimore is won 3 in a row. Lamar is back. They are rolling. They have a really easy schedule. You, Pittsburgh, lost the chance to gain a big lead in this division, and that's ultimately going to hurt them. I still don't think they have enough firepower to win this division at this point. And Burrow's practicing. Cincinnati is 3-6.
Did you see
They're only
him
2
today?
games behind Pittsburgh. Like, this is, I don't know, man. I just think that there were some missed opportunities here for Pittsburgh to take hold of this AFC North.
Joe Burrow, an uncommon level of confidence in that dude for sitting where they're at. He just has that feel about him, like, no, we're not that far behind. We're not that far out of it. So,
Oh,
I have a
gosh.
tendency to believe him. The AFC North is hella interesting.
Yep. Looking at another 9-8 season from Pittsburgh. We'll see. It's the same thing over and over again. This team can just not put a full game together. The defense looked great. I love moving Ramsey to safety. I think that's been huge for the Steelers, for the Steelers defense. Now you lost. Slay. Yeah, Slay got called out. Porter was injured, but he did come back in this game. Like, you got to try and stay healthy, because I think Ramsey and that new defensive alignment they've been running out the last couple games is working. Now, let's get the offense rolling, build some consistency, because that's their only hope of maintaining relevance for the rest of the season.
I agree with you.
All right, let's wrap up with some Browns news here. Jets 27, Browns 20. No, they're not going anywhere this year. Definitely not the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns' post-bye optimism quickly evaporated as they fell 27-20 to the New York Jets on Sunday at MetLife Stadium in a game defined by catastrophic. I don't know how else to explain that. That was a fun thesaurus word I was playing with. Catastrophic special teams errors. The Jets scored 2 return touchdowns in just 36 seconds. First, a 99-yard kickoff return, and then a 74-yard punt return by Isaiah Williams, marking the first time in franchise history New York accomplished that feat. That's per AP and ESPN. Cleveland's offense led by rookie Gabriel. Words are hard. Cleveland's offense, led by rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel, flashed potential but couldn't overcome those early blunders. Gabriel threw 2 touchdowns, both in the first half, and showed some growing chemistry with Jerry Jeudy. Hello, Jeudy still plays for the Browns. Who knew? But the Browns were outscored 10-3 in the second half as Breece Hall, the only player still left on the Jets' post-trade deadline, had a 42-yard screen pass touchdown, sealing the win for New York. Let's kind of pick up where we left off in the beginning of the show. We were kind of talking about Stefanski and this offense, and I honestly think this is the best the offense in Cleveland has looked all season. I know what I said. They didn't play well. Gabriel was 17 of 32 for 167 and 2 touchdowns, but he was sacked 6 times. This offensive line gosh, is just letting them down. It's good to see signs of life from Jerry Jeudy. I like you still have Fannin and Njoku still involved here. Yep. Judkins, gosh, give the rookie the ball, 22 carries for 75 yards.
Love
but
that.
I think this is the most consistent this offense has looked. They put up 20 points. The Jets are a bad team. So
they just lost their best 2 defensive players in the last week. So
Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson got injured early in this game too.
Garrett Wilson.
He's out 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 weeks, something like that I saw recently. So outside of the special teams blunders, Cleveland played a good game, but it's just another disappointing loss as they give up 14 points on special teams in the first quarter. I don't know. Did the Browns special teams failures expose a deeper coaching or discipline issue with Stefanski and his staff?
That's a fair question. I was just going to say that it's an old adage that bad teams find a way to lose, and unfortunately, this just felt like another way that the Browns found a way to lose. Because I agree, Quinshawn getting the ball 22 times, Jeudy, Fannin, and Njoku were your top 3 targets and receivers by the end of the game in terms of catches and yards. So it felt like from Tommy Rees, from the perspective of you have a new play caller in Tommy Rees, it felt like he understood the assignment. Here are our guys. It's apparent to the fans, to the watchers of the team, these are our guys. And it was nice to be the coaching staff see the same thing. So they fed the ball to the right guys. That said, 6 sacks for 47 yards, that's no bueno. I don't care what level of football you're in. And then, the special teams blunders. Bubba Ventrone, hate to name him specifically, he was a head coach in the Senior Bowl this year. So he's a good coach. He seems like a nice guy. I did a lot of research on him before, in the draft season back in February and all that. Man, just a rough outing by the special teams yesterday. Ultimately cost you a game. The defense didn't play bad. I mean, what did Justin Fields have? Wasn't he like the first quarterback since 1950-something to win a game with 42 yards passing?
54.
54. Okay. Yeah. 42 team passing yards because he got sacked 3 times for 12 yards.
I see what you're saying.
54 passing yards on 6 of 11 passing. Like, they're as one-dimensional a team as it gets, and they get 14 points through the oft-forgotten third phase of the game, special teams, and I just come back to like bad teams find a way to lose, and that's the way it went for the Browns yesterday. Just looks like it's that kind of season for them. We talked about Stefanski. Reese, I can't put it all on him. Jim Schwartz, can't put it all on him. Bubba Ventrone, sorry, dude. Like I'm not going to put it all on you, but 14 points in 37 seconds. A football game is more than the culmination of 1 or 2 plays, but boy, those are 2 big plays back to back there in your phase of the game.
So Cleveland at 2-7, sitting right around the 4th or 5th pick now in next year's NFL draft. At this point, and this goes back to what I was going to say earlier, what are you hanging on to? Right? Stefanski looks confused.
Is this the Shedeur question?
No, this is not the Shedeur question because I honestly I posed that earlier, especially pre-show. I was talking about, is it time to bring in Shedeur? With this offensive line, the way it is, what they've had like over 20 different offensive line combinations this semester. I think they lead the league with that. The Chargers were second, mind you. But when you have 6 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, that's not. If you think Shedeur has a chance of being your future, no, I don't put him in right now. I actually go the opposite way. I think you need to let go of Stefanski. I think you just need to pull the ripcord. It's time to reset in Cleveland. Podesta's out. He went ahead. He's moving to Denver, to Colorado, to go be in the Rockies front offense. It just seems like, what are you fighting for in Cleveland? You have the draft capital. You still have the Watson thing you're struggling to get out of. Just move on. And I know we're at midweek of the season and nobody likes to tank. Everybody likes to win. But like you said, this is a lost season for the Browns. I just think that I don't know what they're still fighting for, other than, I was going to say pride, but I don't even know that they have any left at this point.
Well, they talk about, the eye in the sky never lies. So all these guys are playing for jobs, not just this year, but down the line. So if you see a deficiency on film, it's going to hinder you in contract negotiations next year if you're a big-time player looking for a payday, or if you're a fringe-level player and you're fighting not only the incoming class of rookies, but the incoming undrafted free agent class and guys who are bubble guys this year anyway that want jobs. You can't put out bad film. Something you just said reminded me of something that almost makes me feel bad for Stefanski. Paul DePodesta, before he came to the Browns, was a baseball guy. They brought him in for analytics. That was an ownership. That was a Haslam hire. That was a Haslam move. That was something that they were trying to trend in that direction. The Browns are going to be the analytics team of the NFL. We're going to try to be the Oakland Athletics of Billy Beane. We're going to get out ahead of it. So that's huge mistake number one. Huge mistake number two, Deshaun Watson. Another ownership move, right? The football people bring in Baker Mayfield. Ownership says, we're good. We're going to try to make an upgrade here. Another move that did not work out for them. So it feels like they're going against, you have the football people trying to run the day-to-day, and obviously they're the ones who run the show on Sundays, and then you have this invisible hand in the background who's moving around and forcing the hand in a lot of ways, in a lot of pieces, things that go into Sundays that make it harder for the coach. So the Browns have not been good enough. Obviously, Kevin Stefanski hasn't been good enough from a record perspective. But I don't know, how much behind the scenes can you really go like, oh, this is all Stefanski? Man, it's a lot of ownership mistakes too. And a lot of things that get admitted to that coaches don't get questioned about. And when they do, coaches have to get that perfect, well, that's above my pay grade. That's not really under my per diem. That's not my focus. We're focused on this week and our players and blah, blah, blah. But, I'd almost like to see, I wish coaches would, write a book when they get fired. Or, a pamphlet or something.
Tell-all,
just
an expose.
A tell-all. Here's an expose. Here's what really happened from my perspective. And, take this for what it is. Those guys want jobs in the future too. So we may never not, we probably won't know for about 25, 30 years what happened with the Browns. But it's hard to put it all on Stefanski, but it's also hard to pinpoint it elsewhere. The Browns are in for another tough offseason.
If it's not Stefanski, how much of the blame can you put on, we talked about ownership, right? I agree with you. Stefanski is maybe, doing the best with what he can, what he has. Yeah. What he's been given by GM, by management, what he's been forced to do. But can you put any of the blame on, Dylan Gabriel? I think this was his best game as a pro, in my opinion. Spreading the ball around a little more. I know he was still he still was at, an 88.9 QB rating, but I think he's moving the ball around more. He's running more. He ran 5 for 54. He's getting outside of the pocket. I'm seeing signs of life from Dylan Gabriel. That's Dabriel put together. There, we'll start that trend. I don't know. I think it's just a mess. I think when you have to step back, and you said this best. This should be the Browns banner when they build the new Brook Park Stadium. It should just say, the bad teams are going to be bad. I just think that's what this is. And when you're that bad, I think the Browns should be following the Jets' lead in this one and just tear it down to the studs. Start over. You're not close. The Myles Garrett signing was ridiculous. I know you wanted to keep him. You wanted to sell tickets. You wanted to put him on the front of the press pass. But you just need to rip this thing down to the studs. Own your mistakes with Watson. Own your mistakes where you made them, because there are many, and just blow it up and go for that first overall pick. The Jets, I thought, were so smart at the trade deadline. They knew they weren't going to make it out of the division. Bills and Patriots are running wild. They collected all those first-round picks. That was, I think, a smart move by New York. I think Cleveland should follow in their footsteps.
I don't hate it. I don't think you could put a ton of blame on Gabriel. He just started his 4th or 5th game. He was already on his second offensive coordinator, or I should say second play caller of his career. He didn't come in as a first-round pick. He wasn't tabbed as the savior. I think he's overperformed, if we're being honest. As a rookie, 3rd-round pick, there's not even a veteran in the quarterback room anymore for him to lean on. They had that guy, and they jettisoned him to the division, which kind of tells you what the Browns felt about him.
And he's playing phenomenally well.
And he's playing well. So, right, as soon as he leaves, he tears it up, and the Browns will still be in the Browns. So, no, I can't blame the third-round rookie quarterback.
No, I can't
I
either.
don't blame the Shedeur Sanders situation with all the attention being paid there and the extra scrutiny and even the innocuous things getting overhyped and overblown in media circles and whatnot. Cleveland is not New York. It's the media circus is different. There's levels to this stuff. That said, I'm trying to think like pass blame around too. Even if you look at the GM Andrew Berry, who has looked great, but this past draft, can you name a better draft class in the league this year than the Cleveland Browns?
No, and build on that. That's what I'm saying. Build on that.
Awesome draft class. Awesome draft. A lot of starters, contributors, guys playing this year, and guys who look to be starters for this team for a long time. So I don't think it was the injection of the talent like the GM wasting resources. So
it's execution.
It's execution, but I also think it's overall a culture, corporate leadership. The guy at the top, the tippy top, has no idea what he's doing, and it kind of trickles down.
And it's not going to get better.
That's my take.
It's not going to get better. I'm 100% in agreement with you. And that's just, it further proves my points. Clear it out. Clear it out. You had a great draft. Keep Andrew Berry. I think Berry is a good GM. You had a great draft class, like you said. Mason Graham is playing well. Carson Schwessinger looks like maybe the best middle linebacker in the league. Judkins and Sampson are a great one, too. Fannin awesome. is on the field. Well, I don't know if he's on the field more. I'd have to go check that. But he's definitely getting more targets. He's out targeting Njoku at this point. Like, even trading Njoku at the trade deadline, like, that was such a trade him. You don't need him. Like, get something for him. This is not. Let me leave it like this, and then we'll get out of here. This is not a midseason slump for Cleveland. They're falling in the standings. They're in the bottom 5 in the league. This is not a slump. This isn't even a regression. This is where they've been moving over the last couple of years. You got to move on. Let Stefanski go. Let him go succeed somewhere else. Like you said, he will. But Cleveland's only chance, the only thing they should be fighting for right now is next year. Build up some chemistry, build up those rookies, and just wave the white flag. That's it.
So by waving the white flag, is that continuing with Dylan Gabriel, or is it let's see what we have? And do you go to Shedeur at some point? I'm not saying now. I'm not saying this week.
No, I think it's a fair question.
I'm not going to even ask you a week, but just by the end of the season, do you think it makes sense? Not only like, would they or will they, should they, at some point try to see what you have in Shedeur?
If you're playing for next year, you absolutely should, because you need to know what you have in the guy, right? So you maybe another game or two, you kind of know what you have.
They should give him?
I think you got to give him at least 6 games. I think you got to give him 6 games.
Have you even given Gabriel 6 games?
It's a great question. I think that I can tell you in 1 second.
Was this week 5, 4, or 5?
Stall for me.
So, I guess what I'm saying is this. I said this before the season. I said I think Shedeur comes in and plays well for this team. I think it's going to be something. It's going to take some time. He was behind the curve in learning
5.
Basically how to operate from a huddle. So this was his 5th game. Okay, so this was week 10.
So let's say he started against Baltimore next week.
So you give 1 more game to Gabriel, and then you've got 6 games remaining, and you give the remaining 6 to Shedeur?
I think if I'm looking to next year, yes, I absolutely think I would. I hadn't thought about it before, but I absolutely would, because you don't play this guy. What do you do in the offseason? Okay, you get a top 5 pick. Maybe you draft a quarterback. That quarterback class is looking worse and worse this year, but or do you just do you draft thinking Shedeur is the answer, and then you come back next year and Shedeur is not the answer, and then you're right back where you started from. So I think if you're going to take the L and just say, let's focus on next year, let's evaluate the team and what it's going to look like next year, let's sell it to some of these older guys and get them to stick around, let's keep the team together, what can we sell them? You got to see what Shedeur has. It's not like Gabriel's out there winning games for you.
When they re-signed Garrett,
one
of the things was he talked about quarterback, and they said we have a plan of quarterback, and it's very famous. Garrett talking to media. I've seen their plan of quarterback. Yes, no, check this out.
I know.
I know their plan of quarterback. So it has yet to be revealed to me what the plan is at quarterback.
That's what my face was for. Is not. Yes, I remember all that. I remember Garrett talking.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to ask Garrett point blank at a bar over a beer, off the record. Miles, is this the plan they told you? Was this the plan? Oh, we're gonna trade for Pickett. We're gonna sign Flacco,
about Pickett.
And we're gonna trade them. But yeah, Pickett's gonna be starting in Vegas here in a couple weeks. Wait till he outperforms Gabriel. So if this was their plan, I don't know what the end game is, but I think they need one. I think they need a plan. I do think. Give Gabriel this week against Baltimore because I don't think you want to throw Shador in against Baltimore in his first game. And then you turn around. The Raiders would be a great first start for Shador. That's who they got after the Ravens. So just unfortunately another down year in Cleveland. I honestly, and I don't say this, tongue-in-cheek as a Steelers fan, I would like to see the Browns be competitive. I would like to see the AFC North be as competitive as it can be. I think it's a storied franchise. Their fan base is passionate. They absolutely deserve it.
Yes.
But I don't know with the current ownership if that's going to happen. And I think that's just the reality of it.
I agree with you. I don't know if it's just because we live where we live, but I think football is better when the Browns are good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. May never happen, but we'll see how it goes. Well, yeah. Paulie, it's another week in the books. We aired our grievances. We got a lot of it out. Festivus is almost here.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
Listen, if we ever rebrand the show, that's what we're calling it, a couple bald guys in hoodies. It'll be it doesn't help that it snowed for the first time here in Erie, so
yeah. I got my leaves done Saturday, and it snowed Sunday. So,
boy,
it's here.
Welcome back. All right, that's it. Signing off for Paul Adamzak. I'm Nick Artman. That's it. We're done. Have fun.